A few years ago, my dad passed away, and the weeks, like the few days before he passed away, he was strapped to a ventilator. His lungs collapsed, and he had all these tubes in his throat. So you can imagine like how traumatizing that situation must have been for him, and then for us as well, like being there with him. And I just remember the last time I saw him, I just remember sitting next to his bed, seeing him like this, and feeling so grateful that I was able to fix things with him, to better our relationship, right? To place my pride aside. It's one of the most grateful things that I have in my life, that I was able to do that, right? And like I want to say that yes, my dad and myself, we had a sort of a complicated relationship, right? I didn't like our viewpoints on the world and about life and how we should live our lives was a bit different, but I know that like it wasn't as bad as a lot of other relationships out there. Like a lot of you have really complicated and bad situations and relationships with your parents or with your children, and I acknowledge that, right? The reason why I decided to fix things with my dad is there was a time, like a few years, where I would go visit them, right? I would go visit my mom and my dad. And even before I got to their house, I was already angry. I was already frustrated. I was already defensive, in a defensive mode. And at some stage I was like, why is this? Why am I like, he hasn't even done anything yet. He hasn't even said anything yet, and I'm already angry at him. And so whenever like we would then sit together, there would be this wall between us because we couldn't get over that. And I realized that it was my pride. I wanted him to acknowledge that I was right, and he wouldn't acknowledge that. He couldn't acknowledge that and couldn't see that he was wrong. He believed that he was right? And so that ego of mine kept on bringing up these arguments from the past, even before I got to him. So I would remember all these feelings and these things that we said to each other, and it just created this massive wall between us, right? And the moment that I decided to put that pride away and just be with my dad, sit with him, be in the present moment, those walls started breaking apart, and we could start communicating again.